Hey world out there, this is Lessons by Rebel Girl, and today I am going to explain my version of the review game called Grudge Ball. This is something I found a while ago when I was completely over Kahoot and I wanted another review game that was more interactive than Kahoot, that was team-based, that was competitive, that would energize my students, where they couldn't get out of not playing, and um, and something a little creative. So I found this on a teacher blog a while ago for ELA, and I just basically took the idea of it and ran with it. And over the years, it has evolved with the help of my different student groups. So I teach 7th and 8th grade, and with those groups, throughout the years they've helped me make this game really, well, it's complicated, but maybe complex is the better word, but a lot of fun. So much so that every time I play this with a new group, they always beg for the next time we're going to play Grudge Ball. So here we go. So in essence, what I did was I created basically a Jeopardy template. And on that template, we have points. So you can see that one, represents 1 point, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have topics, right? And I always have one of those topics I either call it random, mystery, miscellaneous. I want at least one category to be non-academic and more fun. So I add things like about pop culture, trivia, brain teasers, that kind of thing. So let's set this up. So as you can see up here, I have my students in groups. What I do on the board, as you can see up here, is that on my whiteboard, I'll give every group a number. And so on my whiteboard, there'll be group 1, 2, 3, depends on, how many groups I have in that particular class. Underneath their group number, I'm going to give them points already. So I give them 10 points or 10 X's, right? And that's the max that they can have. The max that they can have is 10. Whoops. The max that they can have is 10. And the idea of the game is that if they get an answer correct, instead of adding points to themselves, if they've maxed out at 10, they are supposed to take points away from another group. And they can take points away from one group or spread the grudge, as I like to say, to all the groups. So hence the name Grudge Ball, right? So every group starts with 10. And what I do is I put up my Grudge Ball template, and I always tell them I need one rep up. They're going to start, one person is going to be the person who starts first. And then what I like to do is I like to go clockwork. I like to rotate clockwise. So one person from every group stands up. And I will call on one person. It really doesn't matter. I'll call on one person, and I'll ask them to pick a category or topic and a number. Okay, so those are the points that they can possibly earn. So let's say they pick vocab 3. So this is anyone's game. So what I tell them is I'm going to click on the question and I'm going to read it. As soon as I'm done reading it, only those who are standing, if they know the answer, are to raise their hand. Now, I always have a student judge. So I always pick one person that doesn't want to play, that's going to help me. So that I am busy, right, in my computer, clicking through and making sure the game goes smoothly. And this judge, the student judge, is the one who's going to call on people and the one who's going to add or delete points. Okay, so first hand up, judge calls. Let's say that person got the right answer. So now they have 3 points, but that's not all, because it's called not just the grudge game. It's called Grudge Ball. So now they have the chance to add points, right? And therefore take points away from more people. So what they do is I have a ball and a hoop. If they throw it and they make a basket, then 2 additional points are added. If they hit the rim, 1 additional point. All right. So let's say they make the basket. So now they have 5 points. All right. And they can only have max 10. So that first group that wins, now they are going to have to decide who to take points from and who to immediately make enemies of. So they take their points. Now now there's some grudges that have begun, and we keep going with the game. So the object of the game is to have the most points, and you can only have 10. So the real kicker is that every team is going to be responsible for completely annihilating another team, and that's okay. That's part of the fun. If a group is down 5 points, then they can add points to their own team, right? If a group has 0 points, they can only take points away from another team or teams if they add at least 1 point or X to their team. So one of the rules I established early on was that to be in the game, you need at least 1 point to your group. So if you answer correctly, one of the points, no matter what it is, if it's just 1 point, then that 1 point has to go to your group. This came up a few years ago when I had students that said, can we form alliances? Well, why not, right? So I mean, it's more real that way. So I've had groups that will actually instead of taking points away from a group, they are going to tell this group that they want to be an ally with them, at least until the end, by giving them points. Now, they run a risk, right? Because if group 1 gives points to group 2, but group 2 isn't really feeling the love, they're risking that group 2 is not going to reciprocate, and instead they're going to take points from group 1. So it gets really interesting. One of the funniest moments came when a group thought that they were in an alliance with another group, but they were wrong about the number. So they said group 5 when they meant group 4, right? And so I took all these points, I think it was like 7 points, from the group that they said. And then they realized once it was done, once the student judge had erased all those points, they realized they had erased points from their ally. And, and they're like, oh, can we go back? And I said, too late. So one of the rules also is once it's erased, it's gone. You can't go back. So I told them, hey, this is like real life, right? We have, we have nations that backstab each other. We have nations that accidentally drop a bomb on the wrong nation, right? This is very much like real life. I always tell them I have discretion to completely, to start doubling, tripling, to change the rules as I go. And they really love that. So towards the end, I'm going to, like the last 5-10 minutes, depending, I am now going to start doubling, tripling, quadrupling the points. And it's going to get really interesting. What that means, though, is that if there might be a team that's been doing really, really good, looks like they're going to win, but then when I like double or triple the points, now another team who was maybe like dead, like gone, right, had like no points to their team, now they have this giant chance to get back in the game and to win. So as a bonus for this video, I've included a view only template for Grudge Ball. It's for Google. So if you don't do Google Chrome, I'm so sorry. It's only for Google. So if you want it, just click on it. It should be view only, and you're going to click File and then make a copy, and then you'll have your own copy. If you are going to have this, make sure that that then you make a copy of your copy so that you have at least one blank version that you can keep using over and over again. If you found this useful at all, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know if there's any topic of interest that you'd like me to explore. All right, until next time, have a good day.